Alrighty. Okay. Whoa, get in the mood. Get in the zone. Come on. Okay, people. This is it. I don't think it gets much bigger than this, if I'm being honest. Skrillex, new album, first album in 9 years. Quest for Fire. The first of that double album cycle. Quest for Fire, like I said. The artwork is sensational. I love it. We got 15 tracks here. It's just under 45 minutes long by 1 second. Which ones have I heard so far? Leave Me Like This I've heard. Rumble, Butterflies I have heard. Xena I haven't heard yet, even though it did come out about a week or so ago. And I've also heard Supersonic, of course, and I think that's it. So maybe 5 or 6 of the 15 that we're getting here. Quite a lot of new material. We've waited for this moment, guys, for so long. Like I said, I just don't think it gets bigger than this for the scene, and for me personally as well, for my channel, you know, covering a new Skrillex album. This is just as big as it gets. This is the kind of coverage that the channel is all about. If you are watching this on YouTube, it is going to be a cut up version somewhat. Patreon will be the full stream. That'll be up on there. The full stream will be up on Patreon, kicking off with the opener, Leave Me Like This with Bobby Raps. I'm liking this one the more I hear it. I'm liking it the more I hear it. Let's go. A bit of hype in the chat. What a way to open up an album. Let's go. Boy. Just a solid, bouncy little bass house banger. Production, very there. Plump, rounded, clean. That yoink, that purple Lamborghini. Bang! Bang! Don't get it twisted. Come on. Okay. I wasn't overawed on my first listen, but it's just a solid track. It's just a solid fucking track. Solid way to open up this album. You know, bass house, tuner, good production, catchy little vocal snippets, the sounds, the wubs in the drops, fucking huge. Love how kind of rounded off it sounds. It's just getting you in the mood. It's getting you hyped up from the very beginning with the opening track. We got All Is Fair with the first album, with the previous album, Recess, the predecessor. And that was a good way of introducing Skrillex back then. Big dubstep sounds. But this is all about that clean production and simple ideas and angelic vocals just all bound together. That's what Skrillex is about. Introducing this newer self in an album format. I wish the midsection was a little bit longer, just a little bit more drawn out, just to dreamily kind of go off into the distance, just that little bit more, just to really tail it off a little bit before sharpening the senses again. But that's the only kind of drawback I'd say for now with that tune. Liking it a lot, and I think if it was a bit longer with that midsection, then it kind of runs a risk of being a bit too long and not being that snappy opening banger that we kind of want it to be. So firing on a lot of cylinders, that one. I'm a fan. It's a very good opener. Track number 2. Oh dear. Oh yes. We have Ratata featuring Missy Elliott, who actually replied to me on Twitter the other day. Missy Elliott just having the banter on Twitter. And with that, we have Monsieur Oiseau as well. So just an absolutely incredible combination of artists we've got here, and we've got a few more cases of that as the album goes on. But yeah, track number 2, Ratata. Oh. DJ Skrillex, we be the realest team on the. I'm already almost getting up, fam. Oh my days. That beat is so fucking naughty. Mate, this is so cheeky. This is so cheeky.
DJ Skrillex, we beat the realest team on the billis. Watch out, I kill it, watch out, I spit it on the mic, fill it. Y'all can't do what I do, just admit it. I'm about to get it, my name, get it, drop it to the floor, shake it.
It's so good.
Like up, jump the boogie to the bang, bang, high. It's the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta. It's the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta.
Wee. Wee.
It's the kind of beat to go
Rat-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Mate, they literally couldn't have found a better person to go over that beat. This is rude. This track is rude. This is bad behaviour. Like, this is naughty as fuck. Oi. Yeah. You couldn't have had a better vocalist to go over that beat. The arrangement of that all, just the flow, that introduction when that first beat came in, and then Missy Elliott just gliding perfectly with the lyrics, just, oh, I mean, again, you might say could have been a bit longer, but at the same time, again, it's that thing of like, if you're adding more, then you're just increasing the risk of a section taking away from the good of the track overall that we get. Ultimately here, we're talking about a very fun instrumental and a very fun vocal layered on top, and it works incredibly well. And there's variety within it as well, in combination with Wazzo as well. Not easy just collaborating with someone who's completely different to you, but they fucking did it, and then they just lobbed Missy Elliott into that. I just can't. Track number 3 is Tears. Oh. Joker, Sleepnet, and Skrillex on the same tune. Okay. Pray for your boy, and for any others of you out there in the chat who haven't got this album's doing a fucking number on me. Only 2 tracks in. Oh, dearie me. Okay. Oh dear. I'm struggling here. All right. This is every song has got something about it that is cleaning me out. And by the way, I haven't heard the mix. I haven't heard the basement mix because I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to know what every song sounded like before I came into this, obviously. So I've no idea. I've no idea what some of these songs sound like at all. Mate, are you mad? What an idea. Yep. Just the detail, all the little sounds, it's quite overwhelming. The production is the thing that stands out to me, the different kinds of execution that we get across the track. The first half, or the first third or so, I want to say, was that super like mellow, like, you know, drawn out, you know, extensive, kind of setting the scene kind of vibe. Production was just insane throughout that, because you're kind of banking on that to be incredible without that much going on, and that's basically what we get there. Just quite mellow, but really like so textured, and so you can feel it on your skin, that kind of opening section. Not a lot going on, like I said, but really textured, really nice production on that. And it just kind of blooms more and more as it goes on. And that little digger-like sound, that's the thing that keeps you going back to it, because it's repeated in the perfect moments, the exact same way, again and again. The little melodic touches, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do, that engages you as well, gives it a nice bit of melancholy, a little bit of sadness kind of bound up in it right there. I mean, there's so much going on here for a track that for the first kind of minute or so doesn't actually do all that much conceptually. Moving on, track number 4 is one I've heard already, Rumble, alongside Fred again and Flowdan, but we're going to hear it anyway. Run for the man.
When I step into the jungle, so they wanna group up. They better move up, never gonna win a Royal Rumble. There were killers in the jungle. killers in the jungle.
Wee. Killers in the bloody jungle.
Yo, you hear that? Over, smell the aroma. Them done dead already long time when I ramp when the skinny couldn't wake from a coma. Yo.
Flowdan, killer. Fred again, killer. Skrillex, Grilla. Good, minimal, amazing production. Again, got that kind of nifty pinprick like digger, you know, kind of effect. That you know, really intricate, really precise with the note placement. As I said, incredible, sharpened, refined production. Vocal is fantastic. Great bits of repetition. Flowdan just killing it. The combination of Skrillex and Fred again just working really well on that track. Yeah, right length as well. I just think that was such a good way to kind of, you know, kick off the singles that we've got from him before this album came out. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Butterflies is one that I've also heard, and it's coming up next. I mean, this song is beautiful, by the way. It's another beautiful song. Hey. I know you're not anybody, oh, butterflies and you touch my body. And you know, babe, shiny, shiny. Man, this song is so dreamy. It is so fucking dreamy, my god. I've just loved it the more I've heard it. It's beautiful. Tears. I mean, there's a lot of love for Tears. A lot of love for Tears. Just a nice little song. A nice, you know, pop house track. Great production, colourful. Skrillex and Fortet combining very well. Vocal from Stara is lovely and catchy, and got different tones to it as well, which is lovely. Again, just one of those that does the simple things extremely well, and that's what makes for a very cohesive and catchy and memorable tune. It's just got everything pretty much that you'd want from a tune of that kind. And now we have another new one, for me anyway, maybe not for you guys, but Inhale, Exhale with Aluna and Quito.
Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'm way too high, too high, too high, too high, too high.
Oh, mate. Give me a rest, bro. Give me a fucking rest. Rewind, my selector.
Inhale, exhale, I'm way too high, 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 too high. I'm way too high, too high, too high, too high, too high, too high.
This one, I'm going to show Timber this one. This is the one that I'm going to show Timber on Toast. I'm going to send this one to him as soon as this is done. As soon as this stream's done. Are all my homies hating Skrillex now, bro? Come on, bro. It's the management of everything. It's just the way it's done. I can definitely hear people at this point saying, oh, this is not the Skrillex that we know, blah, blah, blah. But, bro, if you can't just accept that he is making different stuff at a way higher quality, you're lost. He's not going to make Bro Step again. I'm sorry. He's not consistently anyway. He might do the odd tune, but I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. He's leveled up. He's leveled up.
Too high, too high.
Oh, I kind of wanted that to carry on a little bit. It did flummox me. Do you see that? I was like, yo. It is quite a simple idea again, but there's just so much going on. The layering, the production, the sound usage, the vocal, the repetition of that vocal, it just all coheres again. Yeah, that was a class tune. I mean, you saw how fucking much it threw me when the drop came in. I didn't see that coming, I must admit. I thought it might be like a little Jersey club situation or something like overtly trappy, but it just comes in with that whoa fully rounded off, just complete feeling and sounding, wub-fueled, intricate, but also powerful sound that we're getting in the heaviness there. The vocal and the repetition of that, so clever. Yet again, this guy, you know, again, we all know it by now, but he just knows how to write a song in the strictest sense. Do you know what I mean? It's not just, here's an intro, here's a bit of melody, here's a drop, here's a midsection, here's another drop. It's so carefully thought out when every single little sound comes in. If any of those sounds are out of place, it just doesn't really work musically and in terms of the choice of the sound itself. As a combination, pretty much all of them, well, if not all of them, are just completely right and just makes for another really, again, complete feeling and well-rounded off tune. Very delicate feel to it as well, which I like in contrast with the heaviness that we get. Number 7, we have A Street I Know with Eli Kessler. I can see this growing on me, getting used to that vocal when I hear it more. For now I'm just like, but I think it works as a little midway point, you know, kind of midway, you know, almost midway, just to regather. I mean, he's loving the breaks. He's loving the breaks on this album. Probably the most ordinary one for me so far, the one with the least flair about it, I would say. I mean, it is catchy. It has got that catchiness about it. That vocal repeated. Production again, very good. Percussion, like I mentioned, pretty exceptional. I mean, it sounds lovely for what it's going for. It sounds lovely again. It sounds so well done. For what he's going for there. Just not that much conceptually, I wouldn't say, compared with what we've got before and what we've got, what I assume we're going to get following it. You know, just a lot of character bound up in this second half, I imagine. Not quite as much pizzazz and wow factor about that one, but, you know, that could be the point. That song could just be functioning as like a midway point to kind of regather and quell the energy for just a little bit before regathering and ramping and amping up the energy for this second half that we're about to hear. So I suppose just have to, in some way, just appreciate it as that. But yeah, probably the least enthralling that we've got so far, that one, A Street I Know. Next up, we have Xena, which has also been out for a few days by now, but I haven't heard it. Your boy was away when it came out, so I've yet to hear it. With Nai Barghouti, who is a famous Palestinian singer to my knowledge. So yeah, let's go. Let's check it out. Oh, is this that percussion one where the drop is just like mad drums? You can say in the chat, you can verify. I'm not going to look, but I think it's that one. Oh yes. My god. Yeah, that's class. That's class. Oh, bam, bam, boom, bam. Is that a bit of a Mumba kind of vibe going on there? There it is. There it is. Okay. What was the track that we thought? Was it Inhale Exhale? Where it had that little snippet, this kind of thing before the second drop came in. And I was just like, wanted a bit more of that. And now we're getting it. Now we're getting it. I like that one as well. Not quite as full, I wouldn't say, conceptually. I think it relies on the whole percussion idea quite a lot over the course of the track, but that idea in itself is just a good one. Has its different iterations over the course of the track. You know, you get that initial drop, isolating the percussion with the little breaks as well, just angling it, giving it that definition, which is really cool. You get the mumba kind of beat, I think, in that midway part, that midway drop, the second drop, boom, da, and then we get that kind of speed house thing that we just got at the end there, which is just another cool way of unleashing it. I mean, again, I'm not sure that doing that so many times was quite the right way to go. It feels to me like one that could have been a bit shorter, each drop being a little bit shorter, just to make for a more explosive cut, because that idea itself is so explosive, and you don't kind of want to overdo it with those sounds, those drum sounds in particular. I think there is a little bit of a suggestion or a hint of that as the track kind of winds towards its close. It does just get a little bit tired towards the end, and it feels like that beat is just trying to pick it up significantly, and I'm not sure it does by the time it gets to that point. But a great idea in itself, and the vocal is great. Just adds that flair and that flavour to complement the energy of the drums very nicely. Moving on though, we have track number 9, Too Bizarre, Duked.
This is too bizarre, but I like things how they are. Yeah, this is too bizarre. Just keep drifting, yeah, you just keep drifting on. Pull up in that,
You can hear that posse for sure.
pull up in that, this is too bizarre.
When's Sick Brain gonna come in? I'm pretty sure we've just had Sway Lee so far.
Just keep drifting on. Pull up in that, pull up in that, pull up in that.
Okay. Not one of my favourite tracks here, I wouldn't say. It just feels a little bit thrown together. Doesn't have that much kind of personality about it. I mean, Sway Lee's voice in itself is it's very distinctive, and you can spot it just quite easily, and it's got a lot of character and personality bound up in it. But that whole kind of chorus or drop idea of just chopping up his voice, I don't know, it doesn't work. It just feels a bit like an idea they wanted to shove in there that just is a little bit meh. Just like a thing to kind of put in the track without adding that much to it, because I prefer the bits where he's actually singing and he's, you know, having a bit of proper lyrical input there. That's quite nice. Also can hear quite clearly the Posse influence, I think, with that tune, with the production, just that warm fuzz and kind of glow that is lent to Skrillex's production. It's those kind of central points that steal the limelight a little bit with that track, and I'm just not sure they're really doing anything. Just feels a little bit like vocal chopping for the sake of it that just doesn't really work, especially in comparison with the other sections we get. So it's alright, it's okay, but feels like a bit of a wayward pop leaning kind of tune for the most part that I'm not sure is adding that much to the album at this point, but that could change when we get to the end. We have track number 10 now, which has garnered a lot of hype in collaboration with Flowdan again, and Beam and Peekaboo. I mean, fucking hell. Again, just can you imagine being Skrillex and just like having the power to be like, I can literally hit up whoever I want to be on my album and they'll probably say yes.
Mama, listen. Hope is where your heart is. Don't give up on this. Life abundance. Life abundance.
Phone book full of killer contacts. Front line never gonna run back. Got mine ready for the combat. Me against them when I'm on that. Somebody should have begged pardon. Cause none of my soldiers are on that.
You can hear that peekaboo. You can hear that peekaboo.
It's simple, not complicated. So when it's hot, just stay hydrated.
It's a wobbly little wibbly wobbler. Okay, wub wub wum.
It's simple, not complicated. So when it's hot, just stay hydrated.
I mean, to be honest, it just sounds like a peekaboo tune for the most part.
Just stay hydrated.
Maybe aside from the intricate percussion we're getting here.
Hope is where your heart is.
Okay.
Don't give up on this. Cause there is life abundance. Life abundance.
Interesting, nice little ending there. I like that. Quite simple when you really boil it down, ideas wise. Just the little refrain of wob wob wom wom wom. which is decent. I'm not like, I can see why people are enjoying it so much. It's the whole thing of, oh fuck, Skrillex collaborating with Peekaboo, fuck me. That in itself is amazing. I love that. Is the idea quite simple? It is quite simple. It's not grabbing me like in the context of this album, all the star-studded stuff we get at the beginning with the first 5 or 6 or so. It's not grabbing me in the context of that, but how it sounds, the production, fantastic, a very memorable and impactful vocal layered on top of it. Flowdown just delivering again. It's just wubs upon wubs upon wubs. Peekaboo doing his thing. Skrillex just keeping it ticking along. Now we have what I think is going to be an interlude of some sort with Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy fame. Warped Tour 05, just 48 seconds long.
This is a Clearing Out with Eric Blair show. We're backstage at 2005 Warped Tour with Pete of Fall Out Boy. What up? And Sonny from First to Last. Yeah!
Yes, yes, yes. Lovely. Good space with Stara. Track number 12. Kind of going for that Island Skrillex remix energy a little bit, I think. Icy kind of Skrillex production, you know. Super clean, super clean. Again, it's decent. It is decent, but it's going to be sitting in that mid band for me. Not like the song. Not saying the song is mid, but I'm saying that there's a top band of tracks for me here so far, and then there's ones that sit just below that, and this would be one of them. Just not doing loads in those focal points. I mean, again, it just sounds like with the Sway Lee collaboration, Too Bizarre. It just sounds like vocal chopping for the sake of it. You know, just. I know he's a vocal chop king. I know he's kind of renowned for that. I know that is in a massive way his thing. Again, I like the main vocal that we're getting there from Stara, the personality and the character that it kind of gives off. But then, yeah, in those vocal moments, he just goes again for that vocal chop situation. I just think it kind of detracts from the quality of the track just a little bit. Again, don't get me wrong, very well made. The arrangement, the production, everything. But is it adding something, you know, with character, with personality in those focal points, like the Stara vocal in its original form is? I'm not sure. I think it just is a bit plain and a bit ordinary, to be honest, with those little vocal chops that we're getting. Track number 13, we have Supersonic with Noisia, Josh Pan and Dylan Brady, which of course I've heard many a time by now, many a time. Watchers of this channel, viewers of this channel will know I don't quite get this one, why people enjoy it so much. It's never quite, you know, got to me. I love how it sounds. It's one of the best on the album for that. Like sonically, wow. It's supersonic, if you will. Anyway. Yeah, and the second drop is always sick. I've just never really been a fan of that first half in particular. Just sonically, that track is incredible. I think the definition and the quality of the sound, the design of it, that is on that front one of the best on the album, 100%. Skrillex and Noisia are pairing together, you know, making something together, and that was, you know, the most impactful or considered idea they could come up with. I'm just like, come on guys, you could do something a bit more exciting than that. Again, it sounds great in terms of the makeup of the sound itself of the track, but the idea, I'm just like, come on, really? The second drop does pick it up, to be fair. I like how it does that. You know, a bit more gnarly, a bit more savage. I mean, I enjoy that about it quite a lot, always have, but the first drop is what leaves the first impression. Cliptown? Empyrean. Wow. Finish off with a little bit of garage. Oh, it's the Porter Robinson one. Porter Robinson and BB Borelli. Yeah, okay. Nice little soothing, punchy, garagey beat to round it off. Okay, okay.
Is anybody here with your family, like your sister or your brother? Is anybody here with your best friend? Is anybody here with a team more than like 20? Make some noise right now!
Who's that? Is that a sample from a Burial track? I swear it is. I swear that's in a... Is it not? Is that not in Archangel? Okay, and there we go. That's the album. That is the first album from Skrillex in 9 years. A nice soothing way to end off while still keeping a bit of energy. And I really enjoyed also what it kind of followed on from, that Hazel theme. It did seem to sample a couple other Skrillex tunes in there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it did feel like it had a couple other snippets from past Skrillex tunes. Thing again of connecting the new and the old Skrillex. I could be wrong about that, but it did. I did feel like I heard a couple samples or sounds here and there that were just from his past. Vocals nice. You got the sampling from Cliptown Empyrean. It almost acts as a kind of Cliptown Empyrean VIP in a way. Not too much show-stopping appeal for the final tune, just a way of winding it down again whilst keeping the energy that has built up pretty well over the course of the album. Capping off what the album's about in quite a nice way, especially with the opener being so kind of hypey and boisterous. You know, Leave Me Like This. If you compare that with the closer, it's a lot more melancholic by the end, because it's like, okay, here we go. It's an important moment, the end of a new Skrillex album, the first one in 9 years. So yeah, a nice way to finish off. Maybe a little bit long. Could have been chopped just a little bit perhaps, but it's nice. It's pleasant. It's a good way to finish off. I mean, of course, I have only heard it once, but my thoughts after hearing it once, I think it starts incredibly well. And I think those tunes could have maybe been divvied up a little bit over the course of the LP. Guys, if you could get your kind of rounding up thoughts in the chat right now, just what you think of the album overall so far. I think it starts super strong. Super strong. I'm looking at the opening 5 or 6 here and I'm just like, wow, that is just solid. And then it does, for me, just hit a little bit of a lull at the midway point. You know, we get other bangers like Xena, Hydrate to an extent, I think. You know, Supersonic, a lot of people love that one as well. That's got its kind of banger aspect and features, if you will. And then going off on that somber kind of melancholic route with the final couplet, it's quite easily dividable in a way with the real hypey tunes, the real like in your face with the wow factor kind of tunes, and then the ones that kind of take it on a little bit of a detour and an avenue that is significantly different for me, whether that is with the tone of the tracks, you know, whether they are just in themselves, you know, a bit more chilled, a bit more somber, a bit more melancholic, or the quality of them in that. I think we get quite a few in that second half that just aren't really comparable with the quality of the ones in the first half that we get. Drops that don't really do very much, with the production still being impeccable and incredible, but ideas that just aren't that great. Feel a bit ineffective in comparison with the good that we get here on the LP, doing vocal chopping for the sake of it, you know. So I think there is quite a bit of that. Besides the ideas though, production across the whole thing is fantastic. Sound usage is pretty amazing as well. Production's the main thing that stands out to me if we're talking about the album overall. In a good sense, I think that is the thing that stands out to me most. The variety of it is fantastic. The roster on this track list, the amount of artists involved, is also incredible. There's loads going for it. I'm just kind of looking forward now to hearing it again and getting used to the character of it and how these tracks like stand alongside one another, the relationship they have between each other over the course of the LP. I'm never going to really know what I fully think of it after hearing it once, but at the moment I can quite easily, for me anyway, divide between the first half and the second half. in terms of ideas and concepts and qualities and like tones and stuff like that. A bit more hypey, bit more star quality with that first few, and then just for differing reasons I think it does go on a little bit of a lull in that midway point, and then doesn't quite maybe hit that excellent point that it does in the first 5 in the final 5 or so. So yeah, I think those are going to be my thoughts after hearing it once, but like I said, just looking forward to getting into it more. Just want to look now at what you guys are saying about it. I definitely agree about the replay factor, which is, you know, something that's been mentioned in the comments quite a bit here. Replay factor and just the overall melancholy of it generally, kind of bound up in the album and the music, which is, you know, they're important things to note on. He's had this whole journey with his own music, but also with himself. And this is the result of that. This music is the result of that. So for that alone, I think it is quite a powerful project, and you can hear that in a lot of the tunes we get here. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it at that for my initial thoughts, having heard it once. I don't want to give too many more because they're not rounded. Do you know what I mean? They're not like fully complete in my mind. This is just, you know, kind of initial reaction thoughts, having heard the album once. Glad to hear that you're all enjoying it a lot, you know. I think the general consensus is that people are loving it quite a lot, and that's great. You know, what a way for him to return, to have so many people just enjoying it a lot. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and I shall see all of you legends in the next one, whatever that might be. Who knows? Peace.